What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Matt here, back with another video. Um, Spence versus Ugas. I just want to do a little recap. Obviously, it was one of the best fights I've seen in a minute. 147-pound welterweight division. Errol, Spence, your Dennis Ugas, 3 out of the 4 belts on the line for this fight. Very entertaining fight, very surprising fight to me personally. I did expect Errol Spence to get the job done, but I didn't know he was going to get Ugas out of there. I thought it would go down to a decision. I thought maybe there might be a knockdown. Specifically Errol knocking down Ugas, but he stopped him. He actually stopped him, but technically didn't get the knockdown. So kind of vice versa. But there's a lot to unravel about this fight, a lot to dissect. So let's start with one of the earlier fights. Was it the co-main? Yorkis Gamboa and Isaac Cruz. Interesting fight because now they're pushing that Ryan Garcia Isaac Cruz fight, which I kind of interested to see. Isaac Cruz, he just seemed like too much. I don't even think he hit Yorkis Gamboa with his best shots, but in the beginning, but he ended him later. I think it's just time to hang it up for Gamboa. Great fighter, nothing to be. He has a lot of heart. I think there's no debate about that. It's just a matter of his own safety. I even thought the fight should have gotten stopped earlier, but he's just so tough that it's like hard to kind of stop it. So it is what it is. But that was a very entertaining fight, and I feel like Isaac Cruz and Ryan Garcia would be a good fight if Ryan can't get those other guys, because obviously we have the Devin Haney and Kambosos fight coming up, which is crazy. I think Devin Haney's opening up as just a minus 175, which I thought was pretty interesting, but I guess it's kind of fair because the word is he's going to Australia, if that's still the case, and he'd have to knock him out. It'd be tough. Tiafimo couldn't do it. I know. I expect Devin Haney to outbox Kambosos, but it's just it's a little scary, especially taking into consideration like the Pacquiao going to Australia fighting Jeff Horn. Personally, I thought Pacquiao won, but I feel like nowadays people are saying rewatch the fight. I haven't rewatched it. It's just like there's been no reason to. I don't know. Maybe I'll get to it in the future. But back to Errol Spence and your Dennis Ugas. Great fight. Started off pretty interesting. I personally had it pretty close. I thought there were a lot of swing rounds early on that you could have given to either fighter, but I did have Errol winning. I think 3-2. But I thought it was close. So I could see scorecards being like all over the place, to be honest. Not an easy fight to score by any means, especially in the beginning, but it seemed like Errol kind of turned it up a notch towards the second half of the fight, which is technically not 12 rounds because he stopped him. It was just Errol Spence. It seemed like he shifted into a different gear that I just didn't. I don't want to say I didn't know he had it in him. It's just something that I haven't seen. I haven't seen him look that good in a while, and it's pretty scary if you're any potential opponent, unless you're Terrence Crawford. I know Terrence Crawford he's not scared of anybody. He wants to make that fight happen. It's just, I was surprised, man. I was also surprised by the fact that Ugas was so, he didn't expect Errol to fight on the inside. He had no answer. I understand that when you have a longer reach, it's harder to fight on the inside. Errol's just a really good fighter on the outside and the inside. He could just box, and the pace that he was setting was great. His work rate in that fight, I literally was so impressed. He performed a lot better than I thought he would, because I personally thought there was something weird about Errol Spence in terms of after the eye surgery. I thought it seemed like he was always opening his eyes really wide, but maybe I'm just reading too deep into it. That's probably the case, because he looked really good. Obviously there was that mishap with the mouthpiece. I was nervous for that split second, because he did get hit. He seemed a little, not, I don't want to say he was hurt, but he was just caught off guard. He was definitely a little bit wobbly in the legs just for a split second, but then he recovers quick. We know that he's got a chin on him. Especially when it's he wasn't even defending himself. He would turn around looking for his mouthpiece. He thought Lawrence Cole, who I think should have made a decision to either say keep fighting or just get in the middle and let him get the mouthpiece. But always Earl's got to protect himself at all times, and he's got to. I don't think he'll ever make that mistake again. Leaving himself wide open. Ugas landed something. I think it could have changed the fight. I feel like in that moment in time, Ugas should have just like thrown everything out there, because at the rate the fight was going, it would have been tough for Ugas to win a decision. He needed something big, and I feel like that was his one moment in the fight where he could have pulled off something. Obviously, it's kind of similar to like Victor Ortiz. Like, I don't want to call it a sucker punch, because it's like protect yourself at all times, like I said before. It's just, I don't know. I feel like everybody would have something to say. I would probably have something to say about that. But it was just a good fight. Like I said before, I was surprised by Ugas. I would have expected Errol Spence to fight on the inside. I'm not saying Ugas is bad. I think it's just Spence is on another level when it comes to like boxing on the inside. Ugas had no answer. He had no adjustments to make. He didn't know how to react. Like, every time Errol would get on the inside, he'd get hit with uppercuts. He'd get hit to the body. Obviously, his orbital bone, I believe it was a fracture, but I think it was pretty obvious that it was like busted. As soon as you saw him, he kept going to the doctor, and the first time I went to the doctor, I said, "Oh, they're probably going to stop this soon," and obviously we know the doctor did stop the fight. In terms of Errol's performance, yeah, I can't say it enough. He exceeded my expectations. There was an anger, like an aggression that I saw that I wasn't expecting in the fight. I really thought it was going to go to a decision. But what does it mean now? Like, are we going to be able to see that fight? Obviously, we saw the tweets of Terrence Crawford saying congrats, no more side of the road talk, stuff like that. And then, Errol's post-fight interview, he said something, along the lines of like, Terrence, I'm going to take your bleep next. So we'll see. Hopefully that's the fight we all want to see. I don't see any fight for either guy, happening besides this fight. I feel like this is the perfect time to make it. It would have been different if Ugas, made Spence look a little vulnerable. Like, he had that mouthpiece moment, but I don't think anybody's really thinking anything of that. But everybody was kind of skeptical. Oh, maybe if Ugas can do some damage to him, then we could say, oh, maybe he's not recovered from the eye or the car crash, whatever you guys want to say. But now, after that performance, I think you gotta kind of like really think about this fight, because in terms of the people behind the scenes, we always talk about the boxers. Usually the boxers want to fight. It's a matter of getting the money right and, making sure that, there's going to be A side, B side, stuff like that, that they're going to have to straighten out. But if they both want it, it shouldn't be that shouldn't be the problem. The real problem is going to be the promoters. Obviously, Terrence is a free agent. It's going to be tough. It's still a tough fight to make, even though it's the only fight to make, if that makes sense. I really want to see this fight just as much as you guys want to see the fight. It's a clash of styles in terms of what I think would happen in the fight. I think Errol Errol, I could see Errol stopping Terrence though. Maybe I'm biased off of that performance. Maybe it's recency bias, but that was a scary man. That was a scary dude in Errol Spence against Ugas, man. But I could see the fight going out 3 ways. I think Terrence knocks out Errol, or vice versa. Errol knocks out Terrence, or Errol outboxes Terrence. As good of a boxer, I know he can switch stances. I expect him to switch stances, especially against the southpaw, where he could kind of give different looks and like pull off different punches that he wouldn't be able to against orthodox. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting because he can switch hit, and I'm excited to see that fight. But obviously, I'll preview all of that. You guys are waiting for these big fights to happen, and I'm doing the same, man. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was kind of fun to think about, Errol's performance and what it means for the rest of the welterweight division, and getting those 4 belts unified, and having a truly undisputed champion in the welterweight division. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you're new and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? And I'll see you guys later. Peace.